three of why essential oils are essential, and this is the most fascinating information I have ever come across. And by all means, I am not an expert on physics, but I'm going to try and explain to you what I know in this very short time that we have. Please share this, and if you haven't heard part 1 and part 2 why essential oils are essential, please go back, switch this off, go back and hear part 1 and part 2, then come back to this, because we talk about the hundreds of molecules in oils, we talk about the frequencies, we talk about colour therapy, antioxidant therapy, oxygen therapy, music and sound therapy all in one. So please go back and have a look at that. And I'm just going to touch the surface here, but let's do it. And as I get more information, I'll give it to you guys, and please share. Don't keep it to yourself. This is stuff you just don't hear. Now, like I said, I spoke about the frequency therapies, music therapy, sound therapy. So I'm going to continue with saying 432 hertz is harmonic with our body. It's harmonic. There's a heap of frequencies around us, like chemicals, cleaning products, perfumes, synthetic essential oils, synthetic supplements, EMFs. Anything that's not of nature is actually a discord. This will change your cells. Maybe next video I'll do a talk on the cells and how they look like on the screen and under the microscope. But you've got 432 hertz is the harmonic frequency. You don't have to remember all this, but as long as you know that these harmonic frequencies are in the God-given essential oils. They're not in the commercial essential oils. And you can find out. You can find out by just calling them and asking them, how many musical notes have you got in your oils? And if they say 10 or 20, that just doesn't cut it, because if every musical note is not in the oil, it's a discord, which means it doesn't harmonize with the rest of the body. If you're playing in a band, right, and you had one member of the band that wasn't actually playing in the right key, that would be a discord. So it wouldn't be doing the band much good or the audience. But we're talking about the cells now. The cells have that nice round shape, and what does that is the actual sound therapy or music therapy, which is in the oils, well, the true oils, the ones that are done properly. Now, or made properly, grown properly, distilled the right way, all that. It has to be done right. Now, mitosis, I don't know if you've heard of mitosis, but mitosis is when the cells separate. Every 4 months or every 120 days, the cells separate, okay, and create new cells. That is done by actual musical notes or megahertz. Megahertz inside the body, which you can't hear, but it's music or sound that you can hear is hertz, is measured in hertz. So these musical notes cause the cell division, okay? So music allows the cell to be nice and round. Now, when I do blood analysis, I used to do a lot, I don't do so much now, but I see a lot of distorted cells, all different shapes and sizes. And And you know, but when I first started naturopathy, I was always looking for nutrition. Oh, we're deficient. We're this, we're that. Oh, you're lacking in magnesium. You're lacking in, which is still true, but it's the actual music that makes the cell round. And if you haven't got the music in your therapies or in your food or whatever, you notice we're eating a lot of processed foods these days. And even if you're a vegan and you eat a clean diet, if it's not grown properly, you're not getting that music. Anyway, more about that in a minute. But I see a lot of poikilocytes. Now, poikilocytes are like, they're shaped like, instead of being nice and round, they're shaped like bottle tops. Now, that's the wrong fats oxidizing and causing damage to your cell because those fats haven't got the right sound, okay? We need fats for our cells, but we need the right fats, not the plant-based or oxidized animal fats or plant-based omega-6s. We need the essential fatty acids like coconut oil, olive oil, virgin olive oil. It's got to be 100% virgin, Bible oil, otherwise it's not. It'll produce poikilocytes. And the seeds, nuts, avocados, chia, etc., etc. So what we're looking at, these poikilocytes, and I've seen a lot of them since COVID. There's a lot of bottle top shaped cells, a lot of cell damage. So this is a clot waiting to happen. So we need to get rid of those free radicals. And music therapy is very important because that wave, that's a hertz, 1 hertz per second. So if you've got a few waves per second, that's how many hertz you have, okay? Now, the original music way back, 16, 17, 18, 1800s, that was in the hertz of solfeggio, okay? That was harmony, harmonic music, okay? So we're talking about music outside the cell that you can hear, which is hertz. And that solfeggio was the original type of music, and that was healing. Okay, and we're talking about megahertz inside the body, which you can't hear, which comes from these young living essential oils. Now, what they've done is they've changed that music in, I think it was 1929, to diatonic. This is modern music, and that's a discord. And they changed it by law. So that's a discord, which puts the body out. All this noise we're listening to today. I was in a heavy metal rock band way back in the 70s. Long black hair and everything. And I think that made a mess of my brain because for a long time I was antisocial, and this is what this sort of music is designed to do, is to hypnotize and make someone antisocial. Now, to counteract that, we need, of course, the proper oils, because they have all the frequencies, the harmonic frequencies. We also need the smells, the sounds in nature, and the sun rays, sunshine. These are all important. The nature. Work outside as much as you can. But of course, in summer, in the middle of the day, it's very awkward. So you've got these smells of the flowers, the sounds of the birds, the sounds of running water. All these help to reload that music frequency back in. And the sunshine, the rays, that's actually megahertz or It hertz outside, but it turns into megahertz in the system. And Young Living essential oils these all create cell division. Now, if we don't have cell division every 4 months, every 120 days, the body makes new cells. Now, if they're not in the right harmony with nature, this is how our cells degrade, and eventually some people get cancer. Excuse me. For instance, you can have lavender. You can buy lavender off the shelf and it might smell okay, but the body knows that it's not lavender because it hasn't got the 300 music notes in there. If an oil or a medicine has one note missing, then it's a discord, which changes the shape of the cell, which is not natural. The same is when I've done a talk on supplements, so have a look at that video if you get a chance. When you make a chemical, I'll give you an idea. So here's a shape of a chemical. Now, I haven't put a name on it, but it's a chemical. It looks identical, right? Excuse the drawings. The drawings are a little bit different. Can you pick where the difference is? Now, in science and in the lab, they say these are identical. So when you're getting a chemical, even if it's a supplement, and I used to use a fair few of them, and they do help, but if you use them long term, you're going to put the whole body out of balance. And now, like I said, in the lab and in science, they say these are identical, but the body knows these are not identical. I'll give you an idea. So you've got the double bond there on the top, that's identical, but down the bottom you have a double bond on the left and a double bond on the right, okay? So they're not identical. The body is smart. It knows a proper lavender or a proper frankincense when you put it in your body or even when you smell it. Okay? So you've got to have the right notes. This is very important. So the music frequency that was altered, from 432. Remember I said 432 up front when I started. 432 is a harmonic frequency. 440 is a discord. So it brings in a hypnotic state so you can listen to their ads and whatever. And it's an antisocial. It helps create an antisocial society, and you can see today that a lot of us, well, even I was, and kind of, I'm just turning that around now. For a long time, because I was playing music in a band, it produces antisocial behaviour. So that's the 440 hertz, but we want the 432 hertz. And again, there's a number of different frequencies because this is what they've done. Remember do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do? That's the 440 hertz that they changed it to. The original, and again, I'm not the expert, I'm just touching the surface here. The original was ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Okay? Bit of difference here. So every note here we're talking about is like ut is 396 hertz, which sets yourself free from guilt and fear. What do we have today? The opposite. There's a lot of fear and guilt. And re is 417 hertz, and that facilitates change. We're changing today where kind of changing for the worse, not the better. That's what we see, isn't it? And then me is 528 hertz, which is the God frequency or DNA repair. Love, that's the frequency of love. We don't see a lot of love today, do we? And it's like miracles and transformations. There's not a lot of transformation today, and we need God's transformation, but we also need these beautiful molecules and music therapy and frequencies that God has given us. So we've got Ut, Re, Mi, Fa, 639, relationships and connecting. Now, I've always had a lot of trouble with relationships. Might have a lot to do with the music I played and the music I listened to in the past. So it has a huge bearing. Not just the music, there's other things, but it's a huge bearing. And then we got Sol, 741 hertz. That's awakening and a pineal repair. Pineal decalcification is vital with our connection with God. That's our frontal lobe, and there's a little gland in the middle of the brain, and fluoride and chemicals and perfumes and artificial supplements and oils clutter it up, and TV and violence and all those sorts of things clutter that up, so we haven't got that connection with God. And we remember, I've done a video on the pineal, please go and have a listen to that. But we remember Jacob in, if you're a Bible student, it comes from the Bible actually. Genesis 32:30, Jacob is wrestling with this angel, and cutting a long story short, the angel said, "Let me go, I have to get back." Jacob said, "No, I'm not going to let you go till you bless me." And the bottom line is the angel blessed him, and he called that place Pineal. It's still over in Israel if you want to go and check it out. Pineal. And he says, "Because I've seen God and lived." Fascinating. Fascinating. So that's what the pineal means. The New Agers call it the third eye because it can see spiritual things. Okay? So it's not New Age, it's Old Age because it was in the Bible, but this is a communication with our spiritual, our Heavenly Father. So 741 does that, and there's certain oils that resonate with the pineal: frankincense, sandalwood, and cedarwood. Young Living only, of course. I wouldn't dare touch any other oil without the musical notes in it. And then you got La, that's 852 hertz. That's returning to a spiritual order. Today we're lacking in spiritualism. Spiritualism. Spirituality, and that's causing disease as well. So the spiritual is connected with health, of course. I mean, God is never sick. He's the source of health. He is the source of life. He's the source of light. And then we got 936. It opens the brain up to spiritual wisdom. This proper music produces health. Produces health. This is absolutely fascinating information, and I thought I had to share it. And please share this. So now just a little bit more, and then I'll finish up. Remember the old pianolas, those old pianos with the scroll. Now, this is interesting because this is like some of the tests done on Young Living oils. It shows all the notes. So their tests spit out something similar to the pianola, and it shows all the actual musical notes of the oils. So they do that test. It's called gas chromatology, GC and MS, which is mass spectrometry. Okay, so there are 2 tests they do, but they do about 80 different tests on their oils. These are perfect notes, and your body knows if they're perfect notes and true music because the cells will respond. The cells respond in a positive way, or they'll respond in a negative way. And I've got an advantage of seeing that on a microscope. Okay, I don't know if I can put this over here or not, but can you see the microscope? See my microscope there? I can see cells on that. And it shows me whether the cells are sick or not. Okay? So there are thousands of different notes. So you can't use an artificial oil and say it's a therapy because it hasn't got all the notes. There has to be thousands of notes in the esters, the alcohols, the phenols, the terpenes, all those molecules from the plant to the oil. There's thousands of notes and thousands of bits of information in there, unlike one molecule made in a lab. Totally different. So 936 hertz, I'll finish on this. And remember the thousands of different molecules in Young Living essential oils work on every part of the body, and it goes to where it's needed. And then when it works on that part, it goes to another part, and so on. They got intelligence. So 936 hertz is a pineal activation. And that activates the alpha brain waves. Okay, now the alpha brain waves is the opposite to delta. You notice in these things they're giving us on the news that there's a delta strain and there's this strain and that strain. These are all waves, brain waves. So you work out yourself whether they know what they're doing or not. Delta strain is basically hypnotism, in a hypnotic state, the same or very similar to that 440 hertz with the modern day music. It just changes our brain waves. Anyway, look, that gives you a rough idea. Please share. I'm just fascinated with this topic, and I'll keep it short. And until next time, if you got any questions, please drop me a line. And if you want to get hold of these special oils, let me know and we'll get you a wholesale account. Okay? Brilliant. I think they're a must. And since I've been using them, I've never felt better. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.